15. Shocking scandals. Country legends tried to hide. Country music legends are often seen as symbols of authenticity, but behind their larger-than-life personas, shocking scandals have rocked their careers and left lasting impacts. From explosive outbursts to public arrests, these stars went to great lengths to hide their darkest secrets. But the truth always finds a way out. In today's video, we'll uncover 15 shocking scandals that country music icons tried to keep hidden, revealing the untold stories that will leave you speechless. Which scandal shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more shocking revelations. Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash's legendary status in country music is often defined by his deep voice, rebellious spirit, and a collection of songs that speak to the struggles of the human condition. However, his path to stardom wasn't without its bumps, most notably his well-documented battles with addiction. One of the most defining moments of Cash's career occurred in 1965 at the Grand Ole Opry, a sacred institution in country music. During a performance at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, Cash, intoxicated and under the influence of drugs, had a dramatic outburst that would go down in history. Cash, known for his typically controlled stage presence, became increasingly agitated during the show. In a moment of frustration, he grabbed his microphone stand and began smashing the stage lights, sending shards of glass flying across the room. This destruction not only shocked the audience, but also enraged the Opry's management. The Grand Ole Opry, known for its strict code of conduct, was not a place for such unpredictable behavior, and as a result, Cash was banned from performing at the venue, a rare punishment for someone of his stature. This incident was a major setback in Cash's career. His substance abuse problems were becoming more severe, and his personal life was spiraling out of control. His ban from the Opry seemed to represent a low point in his career, but it also marked the beginning of his journey toward redemption. In the years that followed, Cash's struggles with addiction worsened, leading to legal issues and health problems. However, in the late 1960s, Cash found a new lease on life. He married June Carter, his longtime partner and muse, who helped him confront his demons and embrace sobriety. By the early 1970s, Cash's career was on the rise again. The Opry lifted the ban, and he returned to the stage as a more focused and disciplined artist. Cash's comeback is a testament to his resilience and ability to turn his darkest moments into fuel for his music. His story remains one of the most powerful tales of personal redemption in the music world. Despite his struggles, Cash became not just a country music legend, but a symbol of overcoming adversity, with his later years marked by a renewed sense of purpose and emotional depth in his songwriting. Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks, one of the most iconic figures in country music, is known for his groundbreaking career which revolutionized the genre in the 1990s. His combination of pop rock and country influences helped him sell over 170 million albums, making him one of the best-selling artists of all time. However, his career has not been free from controversy, and in 2024, Brooks found himself at the center of a scandal that threatened to tarnish his previously unblemished public image. The controversy emerged when a lawsuit was filed by a former employee, a hair and makeup artist named Jane Rowe, who accused Brooks of romantic misconduct and inappropriate behavior. The allegations were serious, claiming that Brooks had engaged in uninvited romantic touching and made indecent advances during their professional relationship between 2017 and 2020. Rowe's accusations claimed that Brooks's actions occurred while she was working with him on various projects, including tours and public appearances. The legal battle quickly became public, with the media closely following every development. Brooks, who had built his career on a reputation for being a family man and a wholesome, larger-than-life country star, vehemently denied the allegations. He described the lawsuit as a money grab and claimed that Rowe's accusations were false and misleading, filing a counter-lawsuit to prevent further damage to his reputation. Brooks argued that these accusations were an attempt to extort money from him. The lawsuit received widespread media attention, sparking debates over the power dynamics in the entertainment industry and the difficulties of addressing claims of sexual misconduct. Fans and critics alike were divided. Some believed in Brooks' innocence and rallied behind him, citing his long-standing philanthropic efforts and reputation as a loving husband to Trisha Yearwood, his wife. Others felt that the allegations needed to be taken seriously, questioning whether Brooks had used his power and influence inappropriately. As the case progressed through the courts, the outcome remained uncertain, and the situation began to affect Brooks's career. Concert tours and public appearances were overshadowed by the scandal, and his image, once pristine, was marred by the legal proceedings. Despite this, Brooks and his wife Yearwood remained supportive of each other throughout the ordeal, with Yearwood publicly voicing her trust in her husband. The couple's strong relationship, forged over decades of partnership, provided a degree of stability during what was undoubtedly a difficult time. Although the legal dispute has yet to be fully resolved, the scandal has left a lasting impact on Garth Brooks's career. The long-term effects of the allegations on his reputation remain to be seen as the country music legend navigates this challenging chapter in his life. The incident has sparked important discussions about accountability power and the potential consequences of misconduct in the entertainment industry, particularly in a genre traditionally rooted in family values. Whether or not Brooks will be able to fully regain the trust of his fans and peers is still up in the air, but the 2024 scandal will be remembered as a significant and controversial moment in the career of one of country music's greatest stars. Tanya Tucker. Tanya Tucker's rise to fame in the 1970s was nothing short of meteoric. At just 13 years old, Tucker's voice was mature beyond her years, and her first hit song, Delta Dawn, catapulted her into the spotlight. She quickly became known as the young rebel of country music, her raspy voice and fiery spirit setting her apart from her peers. However, as she grew older and more successful, her personal life became the subject of intense media scrutiny, with scandal and controversy following her every move. Tucker's most well-known and tumultuous relationship was with country music star Glen Campbell, whom she began dating in the early 1980s. Their relationship was intense, filled with passion and heated arguments often in the public eye. Both Campbell and Tucker struggled with substance abuse, and their on-again, off-again romance was marred by addiction and drama. In fact, Campbell's battle with alcohol and Tucker's own struggles with substances often put a strain on their relationship, which eventually ended in heartache. Their engagement, once a highly publicized affair, came to a painful conclusion, leaving Tucker devastated. Despite the high-profile breakup with Campbell, Tucker's personal life continued to make headlines. Her subsequent relationships, particularly with actor Ben Reed, were also followed closely by the press. Tucker's troubled romantic history, combined with her battles with substance abuse, made her a frequent subject of tabloid fodder. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Tucker's struggles with addiction were reaching a boiling point. Her wild lifestyle and substance use were becoming more evident, and her career began to take a back seat to her personal turmoil. However, in the mid-1990s, Tucker recognized the need for change. Determined not to let her past define her, she checked into rehab and began working hard to reclaim control of her life. Her time in rehab was a turning point, and by the end of the decade, Tucker was back on top. She released a string of successful albums and made her way back to the country charts, proving to her fans and herself that she was more than just a sensational story in the media. Tucker's comeback in the 1990s was nothing short of remarkable. She redefined herself as a strong and resilient woman, emerging as a role model for those who had struggled with addiction and personal demons. Her journey from scandalous tabloid fodder to respected country artist is a testament to her resilience and determination to not let her past dictate her future. Tucker's career may have been marred by scandal, but her ability to rise above the chaos and emerge stronger made her a lasting figure in the world of country music. Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard's life story is a powerful tale of transformation. Born in Oildale, California in 1937, Haggard's early years were marked by hardship and rebellion. His father died when he was young, and this loss set him on a path of delinquency. By his teenage years, Haggard had become involved in petty crimes and spent time in juvenile detention. His rebellious nature only escalated, and in 1957, at the age of 20, he was sentenced to prison for burglary. While serving time at San Quentin State Prison, Haggard's life took a pivotal turn. One of the most defining moments of his prison stay was watching Johnny Cash perform live. The experience profoundly impacted Haggard and sparked his interest in country music. After serving nearly 3 years, Haggard was released in 1960, and his decision to turn his life around was marked by a focus on music. He began playing in local bars and clubs and slowly earned recognition in the Bakersfield music scene. By the mid-1960s, Haggard's raw, authentic style caught the attention of country music fans. His songs often reflected his troubled past with hits like Mama Tried and Sing Me Back Home, which resonated deeply with audiences. Haggard's ability to translate his difficult experiences into his music made him one of the most respected figures in the genre. In 1972, after years of working to rebuild his life, Haggard was pardoned by Governor Ronald Reagan as a gesture of goodwill for his transformation. This act not only solidified Haggard's reputation as someone who had truly redeemed himself, but also marked the beginning of an even more successful chapter in his career. Haggard became known for his songs of sorrow, regret, and redemption, and his emotional authenticity made him a country music legend. Despite his troubled past, Haggard's rise to fame was a testament to the power of second chances, and he went on to influence generations of country artists. Merle Haggard's life story remains one of the most compelling in country music, proving that even the most troubled of pasts can be overcome with dedication, talent, and a strong will to change. Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is a country music icon known for her unparalleled talent, charm, and resilience. However, her rise to stardom was not without challenges, particularly in her professional relationship with Porter Wagoner. Parton joined Wagoner's show in 1967, and it was with his mentorship that she began to shine. The duo recorded numerous hits together, and their professional relationship helped launch Parton's career into the limelight. But as Parton's popularity grew, so did her ambition. She desired a solo career and the creative freedom to chart her own path, a decision that would ultimately lead to a major legal battle. In 1974, Parton made the difficult choice to leave Wagoner's show, seeking to break out on her own as a solo artist. This decision, though empowering for Parton, sparked a bitter fallout. Wagoner, feeling betrayed and hurt, filed a lawsuit against Parton in 1979, demanding $3 million in damages, claiming she had violated their contract and owed him a portion of her earnings. The lawsuit became a highly publicized event, putting their previously close and supportive relationship under intense scrutiny. The legal battle was deeply emotional for Parton, as she had always spoken highly of Wagoner despite their differences. In the midst of the legal struggle, Parton wrote one of her most iconic songs, I Will Always Love You, which reflected her love and gratitude toward Wagoner, even though their professional relationship had ended. The song, which became a massive hit when later covered by Whitney Houston, served as Parton's emotional release during a difficult time. After years of legal battles, the case was settled without going to court, and the details of the settlement were never publicly revealed. Despite the pain caused by the conflict, Parton remained grateful for Wagoner's role in her career and eventually reconciled with him. Before his death in 2007, Wagoner expressed regret about the lawsuit, and the two repaired their relationship, showing that their bond remained strong despite the legal disputes. Dolly Parton's experience with Wagoner's legal challenges is a testament to her strength and determination. She faced public scrutiny, personal heartbreak, and a costly lawsuit, but she emerged from the ordeal with greater independence and a career that only grew in stature. Her ability to handle such a public and painful controversy with grace and dignity helped shape her into the beloved figure she is today, both a country music legend and a symbol of perseverance and personal growth. George Jones. George Jones is widely regarded as one of the most influential voices in country music history. Known for his soulful voice and raw emotional delivery, Jones's career spanned decades and brought countless hits to country music fans. However, his personal life was often overshadowed by his struggles with alcohol and drugs, which led to many scandals and highly publicized incidents. One of the most infamous and bizarre moments in his life occurred when Jones, unable to drive due to his heavy drinking, decided to use his lawnmower to make his way to the liquor store. In 1984, after a drinking binge that led to his wife Tammy Wynette hiding his car keys to prevent him from driving, Jones took matters into his own hands. Rather than staying sober, he climbed onto his lawnmower and rode it to the liquor store to buy alcohol. The sight of Jones, a country music legend, driving his lawnmower down the street to fuel his addiction, became one of the most talked-about stories in country music history, showcasing the extent of his alcoholism. Jones's struggle with alcohol began early in his career and had a significant impact on his personal life and his relationships. His marriage to Tammy Wynette, another country music star, was marred by his drinking and erratic behavior. Their tumultuous relationship eventually ended in divorce, with Jones's addiction often at the center of their issues. His inability to show up for scheduled performances earned him the nickname No-Show Jones, reflecting the extent to which his addiction had taken over his life. Despite his struggles, Jones's career was far from over. His voice, which had become more poignant with age, continued to captivate audiences. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Jones sought treatment for his addiction, and with the help of his fourth wife, Nancy, he was able to regain control of his life and his career. Jones's story of redemption is one of the most remarkable in country music, as he went on to perform for decades, earning numerous awards and accolades, and leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire. Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers, the legendary country singer, was known not only for his smooth voice and iconic hits, but also for his distinctive rugged good looks. Throughout his career, Rogers became a cultural figure, embodying the essence of the country music star with his weathered face and cowboy persona. However, as the years went on, fans began to notice significant changes in his appearance, sparking speculation that he had undergone extensive plastic surgery. In the early 2000s, when Rogers was in his 60s, his appearance became a subject of much discussion. His face appeared dramatically different, with noticeable tightness in his skin, altered eyelids, and a generally more youthful appearance that seemed out of place for someone of his age. These changes led to widespread rumors that Rogers had undergone cosmetic procedures, including facelifts and eyelid surgeries. His more youthful features seemed to contradict the natural aging process, which made the plastic surgery rumors even more plausible. Despite the public fascination with his changing looks, Rogers never fully addressed the specifics of the procedures he might have had. He did, however, acknowledge the attention his appearance received, but he was generally open about his decision to alter his looks. Rogers didn't shy away from discussing his appearance in interviews, though he never directly confirmed or denied the rumors. The sudden transformation, while met with curiosity, did not seem to negatively impact his career. Rogers continued to perform and release music well into his later years, although the focus on his appearance became more of a talking point than his music. The speculation around Rogers' cosmetic surgeries, particularly his facelifts, became a staple in tabloid stories and interviews, but it also overshadowed his incredible contributions to music. In fact, Rogers' appearance changes were so publicized that they became part of his legacy. Despite the ongoing speculation, Rogers never allowed the attention to detract from his love of performing. He continued to engage with his fans, maintaining a loyal following who loved him for his music, not just his looks. Rogers' legacy remains that of an iconic performer who left an indelible mark on the country and pop music scenes, proving that his talents far surpassed the gossip surrounding his physical appearance. The Chicks. The Chicks, formerly known as Dixie Chicks, were one of the most successful country music acts of the late 1990s and early 2000s. Known for their harmonies, sharp political commentary, and unapologetically bold personalities, they had a devoted fan base. However, their career trajectory was dramatically altered in 2003 due to a controversial political statement that would become one of the most talked about moments in country music history. While performing in London during a tour promoting their album, home lead singer Natalie Maines made a statement that would forever change the course of the band's career. She publicly expressed her embarrassment that President George W. Bush was from their home state of Texas and openly criticized the U.S. invasion of Iraq. This remark, though a reflection of Mains's personal political beliefs, was met with immediate and intense backlash, especially from country music fans who viewed the statement as unpatriotic. The fallout was swift and severe. Country radio stations across the U.S. began removing the Chicks songs from their playlists. Fans burned their albums and held protests at their concerts, signaling how deeply the comment had offended many. The country music industry, which had long been known for its conservative leanings, distanced itself from the group. The Chicks faced a massive loss of popularity in the country genre, and their commercial viability was called into question. Despite the overwhelming negativity, the Chicks stood by their words, with Natalie Maines even releasing a defiant track, Not Ready to Make Nice, in response to their critics. The song, which became a hit, marked a turning point for the band as they redefined their image to be more in line with their true selves. The band's next album, Taking the Long Way, reflected the struggles and emotions they had faced during this period, and it was critically acclaimed, marking their return to the top of the charts. While the controversy caused immense personal and professional strain, the Chicks' decision to speak their minds and not back down solidified their legacy as outspoken artists who would not be silenced by fear of backlash. Over time, the group's boldness became a symbol of artistic integrity and courage, ultimately winning them new admirers and ensuring their place in the annals of music history. Glen Campbell. Glen Campbell, known for his hit songs such as Rhinestone Cowboy and Wichita Lineman, was a beloved figure in country music. With his smooth voice and rugged good looks, Campbell was an icon of both country and pop music. However, his career, though highly successful, was marred by personal troubles, particularly related to his struggles with substance abuse. These challenges led to several public incidents, including a highly publicized legal issue in 2003 that would shake his image as a country music star. In 2003, Campbell was arrested in Phoenix, Arizona, after being involved in a car crash while driving under the influence of alcohol. When the police arrived on the scene, they found him highly intoxicated and unable to stand. The situation escalated when Campbell allegedly assaulted an officer during the arrest, resulting in additional charges of aggravated assault. The arrest, complete with a mugshot widely circulated in the media, was a stark contrast to the charming, polished image he had cultivated as a country music star. This legal trouble was not an isolated incident. Campbell had long struggled with alcohol and drug use, which impacted both his personal life and professional career. His battles with addiction had been widely known, and the 2003 arrest brought his personal issues into the public eye once again. Fans were shocked to see their idol, a man who had been the face of country music for decades, caught in such a difficult situation. Despite the embarrassment and damage to his reputation, Campbell took responsibility for his actions. He publicly apologized for the incident and sought help by entering a rehab program. His willingness to confront his addiction head-on was seen as a step toward redemption. Although the incident did not damage his career permanently, it was a dark chapter in an otherwise illustrious life. In the years following the arrest, Campbell continued to perform, and he eventually opened up about his struggles with addiction in interviews, using his story to encourage others to seek help. His battles with personal demons, however, were not the only chapters of his life. Campbell's legacy, marked by his remarkable contributions to music, especially his work as a session musician and his success as a solo artist, is remembered with admiration. His story, while tainted by controversy, is ultimately one of resilience and the ability to continue sharing his music with the world despite the challenges he faced. Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson, one of the most iconic figures in country music, is known not only for his distinctive voice and songwriting, but also for his advocacy of marijuana legalization and his rebellious spirit. Nelson's personal life, particularly his support for cannabis, has been a central part of his public persona. However, his open advocacy for marijuana has also led to multiple legal entanglements, including several arrests for substance possession. One of the most significant incidents occurred in 2010 when Nelson was stopped at a border checkpoint in Texas and found to be in possession of marijuana. Despite the serious nature of the arrest, Nelson remained calm and composed, stating that he had been a lifelong supporter of cannabis. This was not Nelson's first brush with the law for drug-related issues. In fact, throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, he faced arrests in various states, including Louisiana and North Carolina, for similar offenses. While many artists might try to hide their struggles with the law, Nelson embraced his status as a countercultural icon. He used his multiple arrests as opportunities to advocate for the legalization of marijuana, becoming a leading figure in the movement. His public support for cannabis did not hinder his career. Instead, it solidified his reputation as a musician who was not afraid to challenge authority or defy the status quo. Nelson's fans, many of whom shared his progressive views on cannabis, supported him through these legal battles. Rather than tarnishing his career, the legal troubles seemed to reinforce Nelson's image as a rebel and a symbol of defiance. He even used his platform to promote marijuana legalization and started his cannabis brand Willie's Reserve, which further cemented his role as an advocate for legal reform. Despite his run-ins with the law, Willie Nelson's legacy remains intact. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest country music artists of all time. His legal troubles, far from defining him, became a part of his larger-than-life persona, showing that his career was much more than just his music. He has always remained true to his beliefs and his fans, proving that authenticity can be more important than public opinion. Hank Williams Jr. Hank Williams Jr. is a country music legend known for his rebellious attitude, hard-living lifestyle, and deeply personal music. The son of the iconic Hank Williams Jr. was no stranger to controversy, but in 2011, he found himself at the center of a scandal that would cause a major rift in his career. The controversy began when Williams was a guest on a morning talk show and made controversial remarks about President Barack Obama. During the interview, Williams was asked about his views on the relationship between President Obama and House Speaker John Boehner. In his response, Williams compared Obama to Adolf Hitler, stating that the president's political decisions were akin to those made by a dictator. The inflammatory comment quickly made headlines and sparked a wave of backlash. The political comparison was deemed offensive by many, and it created a firestorm of criticism. The consequences were swift. ESPN, which had been using Williams' song, "All My Rowdy Friends Are Here" on Monday Night Football, as the theme song for Monday Night Football for over 20 years, immediately severed ties with the country star. The network announced that it would no longer use his song for their broadcasts, signaling a significant blow to Williams's mainstream visibility. Despite the backlash, Williams refused to apologize for his remarks. Instead, he defended his opinion, claiming that his words were misunderstood. His stubbornness only fueled the controversy, and he released a song called "Keep the Change," in which he directly addressed the public outcry, expressing his frustration with the reaction to his comments. The song became a rallying cry for his supporters, many of whom felt that Williams was being unfairly targeted for speaking his mind. However, the scandal had long-term effects on Williams Jr.'s career. While he maintained a loyal fan base, particularly among those who shared his conservative views, his mainstream popularity took a hit. His association with ESPN was severed, and the public's perception of him as a figure in the country music world became divided. Hank Williams Jr.'s controversy in 2011 highlighted the intersection of politics, celebrity, and public perception. While his refusal to apologize solidified his image as a free-thinking artist, unafraid of speaking his mind, it also made clear the consequences that can arise from making bold and divisive statements. His legacy remains one of the most complex in country music, characterized by both musical greatness and personal controversies that defined much of his career. Randy Travis. Randy Travis is a country music legend known for his deep, soulful voice and significant contributions to the genre. However, his career, while filled with success, was also marked by personal struggles that sometimes made headlines for the wrong reasons. One of the most notable controversies in Travis's life occurred in 2012 when he became embroiled in a series of incidents involving public intoxication and legal troubles that significantly tarnished his once stellar image. In February 2012, Travis was arrested outside a church in Sanger, Texas for public intoxication. The country star was found in a drunken state which raised eyebrows among fans and the media alike. This arrest was a sign of the personal demons Travis had been battling for years, as alcohol had long been a part of his life, despite his public persona as a clean-cut country star. However, the incident didn't stop there. Later that year, in August 2012, Travis found himself in a much more serious situation. He was involved in a single car crash in Texas, where he was discovered naked and allegedly combative with police officers. When authorities arrived at the scene, Travis was reportedly threatening officers and had to be arrested for driving while intoxicated DWI. The bizarre nature of the incident with Travis, naked and drunk, shocked his fans and led to even further media scrutiny. This marked one of the most low points in his personal life and career. Following these incidents, Travis faced legal consequences, including probation fines and community service. These public embarrassments, combined with his struggle with alcohol addiction, led to a significant dip in his career's public perception. Fans were left questioning how a respected figure in country music could spiral so far. However, Travis, despite the significant impact of his legal troubles and alcohol abuse, did not give up on his recovery. In 2013, he suffered a stroke which further impacted his health and career. Nonetheless, he continued to make public appearances and show his resilience in the face of adversity. The story of Randy Travis is ultimately one of redemption, showcasing how even the most well-loved stars can stumble but find the strength to rebuild themselves. Jason Aldean. Jason Aldean, a major figure in modern country music known for hits like Dirt Road Anthem and Big Green Tractor, had his public image rocked in 2012 when an infidelity scandal brought his private life into the media spotlight. Aldean, who had built a reputation as a country music heartthrob, was married to his high school sweetheart Jessica Ussery, with whom he had 2 children. However, his seemingly perfect marriage was shattered when photos surfaced showing Aldean in a publicly affectionate embrace with Brittany Kerr, a former contestant on American Idol. The photos, which were taken in Los Angeles at a bar, showed Aldean and Kerr getting cozy kissing and being affectionate behavior that was highly inappropriate given that Aldean was still married at the time. This revelation was a major shock to fans who had long seen Aldean as the family man, and it quickly became one of the biggest scandals in country music that year. Aldean was quick to address the situation, releasing a public apology where he admitted to the wrongdoing and expressed regret for betraying his wife. He acknowledged that his actions had hurt not only his marriage, but also his family and his fans. Despite the apology, the damage was done and the public scrutiny intensified. In the wake of the scandal, Aldean's marriage to Ussery crumbled. In 2013, after 12 years of marriage, the couple officially separated and eventually divorced. Aldean began a relationship with Kerr, and the two married in 2015, further intensifying public interest in their personal lives. The scandal had a significant impact on Aldean's public image, but it didn't halt his career. Aldean, a resilient figure, continued to release chart-topping albums and sell out tours. However, his reputation as a devoted family man was forever altered by the infidelity incident. His ability to weather the storm, continue to make music, and move forward with his new family life ultimately reinforced his standing in the country music world, showing that while scandal can change a public image, it doesn't necessarily define a career in the long run. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is one of the most successful and influential artists in contemporary music, but her career hasn't been without its share of controversies. As a young country star, Swift won the hearts of millions with her heartfelt lyrics and acoustic-driven songs. However, in 2014, her decision to move from country to pop music sparked intense debates and criticisms, both from fans and critics alike. The shift in genre began with the release of her album Red in 2012, which blended country with pop elements, but it became fully realized with her 2014 album 1989. The album marked a complete departure from her country roots and an embrace of mainstream pop with hits like Shake It Off and Blank Space. Swift's move was seen by some as an artistic evolution, while others viewed it as a betrayal of her country music origins. Country fans in particular felt abandoned by their former country darling who had once sung about their shared experiences. Critics accused Swift of abandoning authenticity in favor of commercial success, and many wondered if her new pop identity could ever be as genuine as her early country work. While 1989 was a commercial success, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200 and receiving critical acclaim, the backlash from her country music roots was palpable. Some country fans burned her albums and publicly denounced her shift in style, while others took to social media to express their disappointment. Despite the criticism, Swift stood by her decision, asserting that she had outgrown the country genre and wanted to experiment with new sounds that resonated with her evolving identity as an artist. Swift's transition was not just about music. It also marked a shift in her public image. As her career blossomed into pop stardom, Swift began to cultivate a more polished, cosmopolitan image, which contrasted with her earlier girl-next-door persona. In the years that followed, her ability to blend genres and constantly reinvent herself kept her at the forefront of the music industry. The genre shift may have been controversial, but it undeniably propelled Swift into global superstardom. And today, she is celebrated as one of the most versatile and influential artists in modern music history. Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen, a country music star whose rise to fame had been rapid, became embroiled in a massive scandal in 2021 that would significantly impact his career. Wallen, known for his chart-topping album Dangerous the Double Album and hits like Whiskey Glasses, found himself in the middle of a firestorm when a video surfaced of him using a racial slur. The video, which was taken by a neighbor and shared by TMZ, showed Wallen in a drunken state using the N-word while speaking to friends outside his home. The backlash was immediate and overwhelming. The video quickly went viral, sparking outrage across the country music community and beyond. Major music platforms, including Spotify and Apple Music, responded by reducing Wallen's visibility, removing his music from playlists, and placing restrictions on his content. Country radio stations followed suit by ceasing to play his songs, and organizations like the Country Music Association and Academy of Country Music declared that Wallen would not be eligible for awards in 2021. Wallen's initial response was to apologize publicly for his behavior, admitting that his actions were wrong and acknowledging the harm he had caused. He claimed that he had grown up in an environment where the racial slur was used casually and had not fully realized the weight of his words. However, his apology did little to quell the fury of critics who felt that his actions were inexcusable. Many fans and industry figures expressed disappointment, questioning whether Wallen truly understood the impact of his words. Despite the controversy, Wallen's fanbase remained incredibly loyal, and his album sales soared after the scandal. His supporters rallied behind him, with some arguing that he should be given a second chance. Wallen took a break from the public eye following the incident to reflect and educate himself on racial issues, promising to donate money to organizations that promote racial equality. In the end, while the scandal had a profound effect on his public image, it did not derail his career entirely. Wallen's album sales continued to break records, showing the complexities of celebrity culture and the mixed reactions that often accompany scandals. The incident raised significant conversations about race privilege and accountability in the entertainment industry, forcing both Wallen and the country music community to reckon with deeper issues. While Wallen's career trajectory remains strong, the incident has left a permanent mark on his reputation, and the long-term effects on his career, as well as his relationship with fans and the industry, will continue to evolve in the years to come. The world of country music has been home to many iconic legends. But behind the music and fame, there have been shocking scandals that these stars tried to keep hidden. From Johnny Cash's explosive outburst at the Grand Ole Opry to Willie Nelson's multiple substance arrests, these artists' personal lives have often been as tumultuous as their careers. Tanya Tucker's troubled relationships and George Jones's battles with alcohol reveal the darker side of fame. Despite the controversy, many of these artists bounced back, proving their resilience. Which scandal do you think had the most lasting impact on their careers? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.